Welcome to Tower Talk Business Radio, where we bring you conversations with the top business minds on Long Island and around the nation every week. Featuring expert consultants and small business owners who have found success but are also willing to share their top tips, failures, and give gritty, matter-of-fact advice based on their firsthand experience. Now, let's get down to business on Tower Talk Business Radio on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Hello and welcome to Tower Talk Business Radio, powered by the Nassau Community College Foundation. My name is Ray Schwetz, AVP of Jovia Financial Credit Union, along with Donyshia Boston-Hill, CEO, keeper of the brand, marketing and digital agency, and we're focused on being the premier resource for business and entrepreneurship.
Ray and I bring you weekly business advice, tips, tools, and services that help you grow your business. Plus, we interview the top business leaders in the industry.
Yes. So, the holiday decorations have already showed up in time for fall, and it's crazy how much in advance you need to plan the holidays now. And it just seems like time's flying.
It is. I'm scared. I'm not prepared, and I'm so happy that there's so many resources out there for one-stop shopping to get me in order.
I just want to slow things down, though, because Halloween is really my favorite time of year.
I know.
So I want to slow things down, have Halloween, and then it's Nightmare Before Christmas, and it's Christmas. There we go. Anyway, so we're very excited because helping provide us with business empowerment today is our returning guest. His name is John Nuzzi. He's of JG Brands Christmas Tree Sales Incorporated. Does the J stand for John?
It stands for Joe.
Joe. All right.
My grandfather's first name, and his last name is Grandy.
Oh, okay.
So that's the initials of the company.
All right. I was trying to sneak you in there. So.
No, it's okay. I got you.
Now, JG Brands Christmas Tree Sales Incorporated is a family-owned business, as you just guessed probably, and in operation since 1950, specializing in wholesale and retail of the finest imported Christmas trees and wreaths in the tri-state area. JG Brands provides Christmas products and services to garden centers, various fundraising organizations, florists, and landscaping firms. They're located in the Queens and Nassau County border at 234th Court and Hillside Avenue in Belrose. So right in our hometown, right in our home neck of the woods. Yes,
close by.
So tell us about what's going on at JG Brands and tell us a little bit about your role there.
Well, right now at JG Brands, we're in gear for the upcoming season for 2019, and my role is pretty much everything under the sun.
Okay.
Yeah, as a business owner.
So the J should be for John then.
Maybe. I don't know. There's a lot of J's in my family, so we can split that up maybe. I don't know. But my role is spread out in different places. I can be doing sales, I can do marketing, I can be doing buying. Mm-hmm. I do everything. That's just part of the gig.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I recall last time you were here, you talked about a little bit about going to Canada or going to other states to actually procure and see the trees and buy the trees.
Right.
So in that role, what do you do? Like just
tell us your day to day.
Your day to day.
Well, the day to day before our shipping season, there's a lot of selling. With my customers, getting their orders ready for this year.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, that my trips to Canada, North Carolina, that's important because I have to go and check the product first, make sure we're good for the upcoming year, see how the progress is going before harvest.
Yeah.
And then once that's finalized, I can start to tell the customers, this is what's available, this is what the plantations have, and we work from that direction. So right now is the selling season, so we're constantly sending out orders, getting our vendors ready for the upcoming season, getting purchase orders ready on that end. So there's a lot of scheduling and logistics involved with it too. So it's not just a 2-month-a-year business.
Right.
There's a whole year worth of work that goes into it that behind the scenes you don't think goes into it when you see a tree at a store or your local shop.
Right.
But there's a lot of planning to get that product that only shows up in a store once a year to your front steps.
Yeah, I liken it to your tax season because it's people think April. Well, CPAs are busy all year. There's quarterly, there's all that other stuff, and then there's the big push in April. So I imagine it's similar to you.
It's similar. I think a lot of businesses have their busy season, so it's not out of the ordinary. For a lot of people, they hear what I go through, and they think it's like, that's it. You don't have much time to
do anything else.
Yeah,
right?
But there's a lot of planning in the back end of things that people don't see, which is okay because they're worried about the product at their front door, and that's cool. So I'm happy that we can provide a good service and a good product, and stick with it and do a good job each year. So.
Right, because you're not just seasonal. I mean, you've participated in movies and TV shows, and you're working.
Yeah, I mean, we always get people reaching out to us throughout the year looking for products that we have, like trees and wreaths for their TV shows, movies.
I imagine Lifetime Network must love you.
I never heard from them yet, but maybe that would be a good.
They got a lot of Christmas movies and holiday movies.
But if there's a local set in the area, and they need product, we're usually able to do it if it's within November and December. Anything that's in September or before that, it's kind of tough because we don't have the product in yet. We didn't ship it in, so.
Gotcha.
So now, when do people start visiting, JG Brands right here in Belrose? Like, when do you see, like, people coming in for, okay, I'm trying to change my decorations this year. I don't want to go with the traditional green and red. I want to change blue or any,
And she's talking about normal people, not people like me who will show up Christmas Eve and be like, I need a tree.
Well, we also do retail at our location in Belrose. So mid-November, we start to get people trickling in off the streets looking for trees. And once Thanksgiving rolls around, that's when everyone gets the bug to start getting their Christmas shopping going, and that's usually part of the equation.
Yeah, I got you.
Now, do you also have, because I'm like, I jump right into the Christmas holiday season, or I wait really late like Ray. So do you also offer services for like lazy Christmas people out there who are like, I just want this tree to show up in my house and, decorate it? Do you offer
No, we don't offer that service, but what we do offer is for our wholesale end, we ship, and if it's a big big job, we'll just ship the tree to them, and they have to handle the decoration end on their part. We don't dive into that. Mm-hmm. It's too much work to, hours and labor, so it doesn't really make it cost efficient for us.
No, that makes sense. Yeah, you are listening to Tower Talk Business Radio on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm Ray Schwetz, along with Donyshia Boston-Hill, and our guest today is John Nuzzi of JG Brands Christmas Tree Sales Incorporated. So tell us a little bit about the vendors, because, we're talking about the retail side of things, certainly from a personal perspective, but, obviously you deal with a lot of different vendors. So tell us about some of the vendors that you work with.
Well, our vendors span from our wreath makers to our tree growers and to our artificial line that we have, all plastic products that we sell along with the trees.
So we could get you in touch with Lifetime about those plastic products.
Yeah.
They could get those in the summer.
We sell some decorations to our customer base for wholesale that you would see on the wreaths and the grave products that we do for the cemetery line that we have, which it's good because we offer a little bit of everything on the products that would be kind of a niche thing for us. So a wholesale customer can come to us and they'll get a little bit of everything they need for their order. Instead of going to 10 different guys, we can provide a little bit of something for them.
Gotcha.
So it helps.
And I would say probably so for introductions when we're talking about business to business type stuff. So you work with the wholesalers, you work with growers, obviously. You work with so who else? Florists.
Yeah, it could be a lot of different customers that come to us. Boy Scout troops, firehouses that have local sales. You get everyone from the fundraising end, which is nice churches.
Yeah.
And then you have the higher end nurseries in the area that look for our trees and wreaths, and we can provide that to them. So we span a large...
there's a lot of different... a lot of different ways to do business with you.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
There's a lot of different products. So, you go online and you see the fir or the fern. What is your specialty? Is there a niche, or you
He does it all.
Yeah.
As far as what we sell, we sell a lot of premium trees. So they're high-end, full-size, beautiful colored trees. So, you're not getting anything skimpy on our end.
There's no Charlie Brown.
No, we don't.
Unless people want those.
Unless by request.
So we can do a 6 to 7 foot tree, just, easy to just break it down like this.
I want to go big, John. I want like 10, 12 feet.
Or we can do that.
Is your ceiling?
I have a vault.
Oh, okay.
I have a vault.
Or we can do a tree to 25, 30 feet, depending on the project.
So there you go.
No, it's too big.
That's like the Christmas Vacation, the Clark Griswold tree, the big, huge one that's curved over in the...
Yeah, so if it's a wholesale...
Nisha wants that.
We can do that. I'll work on it for you. And so the wholesale customers will, they have a wide range of product sizes that they can choose from with the trees, which is good because everyone has a different needs, and we try to cater to everyone.
Now, how is marketing and how has your day-to-day and how has your marketing changed over the years? I'm sure there's been changes even within the last year on how you do things.
Yeah, I think within the last few years, it's a fact that online shopping is a big thing. So I'm trying to make us as present as possible with our website, with our Google presence, social media, and that's a very important place to be. Now, as a business owner, I think a lot of businesses have to have that in their back pocket with their marketing, and it's a lot of work and it's a lot of planning because I have to make sure that we're visible within not just November and December, but January on. Like, I have to look at it like it's a 12-month deal, and then they'll find us in November for an order. We get a lot of business inquiries in the spring, and that's good because that's showing me that people are thinking about the Christmas season and we're visible online. So I'm constantly pushing our visibility out there.
Yeah, and I think with social media, you got a great opportunity because we can show, here the trees being planted, and then as they're getting, and you have some majestic product out there.
Yeah, and it's a good thing because social media keeps you in touch with your customer base, and that's very important. I think there is a place where maybe 20 years ago you didn't have that sort of connectivity with your client base. Now they're in know 24/7,
right?
And that's a good thing because email blasts and Facebook posts, and everyone can get an idea of what's going on with your business. Maybe when it's not so busy, but just to show that you're here and you're still working towards the season. So
I know I'm more open to those things if I'm reading that in my pajamas at home than I am if I'm in the office. So.
What are some of the challenges you face throughout the season?
The challenges that we usually face is just the timeline of getting the product to New York and shipping it to my customers. That's the difficult because we don't have 3 months to do it or 4 months. We have a couple of weeks to get it executed and delivered, and so I plan backwards. We, my father and I, we schedule everything, and we make sure we get our orders in very early, so we can put everyone in on a date, and then we work backwards from there.
Yeah,
and then we can start processing vendor orders and what we need for who, and scheduling when each product has to come in at a certain date. So it's kind of like, it's working backwards. And the challenge is just, having time on your side. And it's not a business where that's the case because anything can happen, like weather and delays with trucking, and transport's a big thing.
Yeah.
Getting the product to market is one of the most challenging aspects of the business. And it's not just something that you have to count on being the same each year because there can be different rules and regulations that the trucking companies have to abide by that will affect my business. So,
sure.
That's something to think of when you're doing something like this.
You are listening to Tower Talk Business Radio. Our guest today is John Nuzzi of JG Brands Christmas Tree Sales, Inc.
90.3 WHPC reminds you that so many of us thought about becoming teachers when we were little. But as we grew up, things changed.
We decided to pursue other paths, like nursing, architecture, and even radio show hosting.
Well, maybe it's time to put teaching back on your list.
Teachers today are taking learning far beyond the four walls of the classroom, transforming old subjects into new experiences, and proving that greatness can be found even in everyday places.
Find out how you can make more at teach.org.
Make more, teach.
A message from Teach, the Ad Council, and the voice of Nassau Community College.
90.3 WHPC.
90.3 WHPC reminds you that it's important to get your kids to buckle up for safety no matter what it takes.
Do what you have to make sure your kids are wearing their seatbelts. Always make sure they're wearing their seatbelts even on short drives.
Never give up until they buckle up. Go to safercar.gov/kids buckle up.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, the Ad Council, and the voice of Nassau Community College. 90.3 WHPC.
And welcome back to Tower Talk Business Radio, powered by the Nassau Community College Foundation on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm your host, Donyshia Boston-Hill, along with Ray Schwetz, and our guest today is John Nuzzi of JG Brands Christmas Tree Sales, Inc.
Thank you guys again for having us.
Thanks for coming and returning again. Just like Christmas, you're back every year, John.
I know, and it's a good thing because I think it's a nice business to describe to people that maybe don't think too much about it and they don't see what goes on behind the scenes because, you know, like I said earlier, it's a product that you only see for a few weeks out of the year and then it's gone. So I'm happy to shed some light on it.
No, that's fantastic. So there's a lot of traditions, and you know, and Christmas trees itself is a tradition for most people. What's going on new in this holiday season and things that you've seen? Are there any trends or
trends? You know, the business is always, or the industry, I should say, is always changing. Some years you might have people that are looking for a 6 to 7 foot tree or a 9 to 10 foot tree. It's the needs of the customer. You never know what they're going to need. So we try to make sure we have enough product in each size category for what's needed out in the market. And that's a hard thing to judge sometimes. You have to kind of do your best to satisfy everyone. And so that's where I'm at with that.
Now, how do you reach those people that are stuck on, you know, the artificial trees and afraid, like me, afraid of that, you know, bringing that live tree into their home because of all the things you see on the news? But how do you convert people? Do you convert people?
I don't pressure anyone to buy a real tree. Mm-hmm. The quality stands for itself when they come to our wholesale yard and they see all the trees standing up and everything is presented the right way. Mm-hmm. And we try to present it the right way, where it's a family environment. There's plenty of beautiful trees to walk around and look because we have everything standing up. You know, 200 or something trees in our front lot.
Wow.
You know, the front area of our wholesale yard. And we're selling the experience too. And people want that experience of Christmas, and that's what we're here for. I would like everyone to have a real tree, and maybe some people just don't want to deal with, you know, the mess, or I can't list all the things, but I just try to get a good product out there, and if they like it and they want to take it home, that's fine for me.
There are no squirrels in your trees.
No squirrels. Nothing like Vegas vacation or
no. We're good.
But you get a lot of people returning back with their children. Do they come?
Yeah, there's always a couple of generations of family that come to see us each year, and it's a good thing because it shows that we're prevalent in the community, and I like that. That makes us feel good that people think of us once a year.
Yeah, and you mentioned something that I like, which is the experience, and I do think there's an experience behind what you're doing when you're selecting a tree, whether you're a business or whether you're a person bringing one into your home, and it's kind of nice that you have that little forest oasis in Belrose, you know?
Yeah, and
that's a neat thing,
and it's a cool thing because people don't necessarily connect the two, like Belrose, Queens, and
right.
The atmosphere that we provide, and it's a nice surprise when you see a customer walk in and their eyes light up, and that shows that we did the right thing and we're on the right track. So,
and you don't have to drive 7 hours upstate to get this experience. You can go right to Belrose.
All the trees are pre-cut, and
less work. I like that part too.
Yeah, we walk them out to the car and tie them up, and we do everything for the customer.
Nice.
Now, what advice would you give to businesses from that perspective? Because I know businesses are always looking for ways to expand their customer base or ways to keep their customers engaged. So what advice would you give other businesses?
The advice that I would give is to choose a niche that you're comfortable succeeding in.
Yeah.
Something that you're confident that you can control and handle. Not to say controlling the situation is the hardest thing for a business owner. But I believe that if you stay true to your values and you're honest with your customers and you show that you'll put the extra mile in, that'll come back to you tenfold.
Yeah.
And a lot of businesses have a lot in common with each other as far as the problem solving and the communication with your customers and your vendors and looking forward towards the future with your products and what's going to be available in the years ahead. And there's a lot of things that you have to think about. So as a business owner, I would say just be sure that you can tackle any problem that comes your way. You might not be able to do it. Some days you will, and it's something to be discouraged about. I think it's a good learning process, and it's a good tool to have in your back pocket.
Yeah, forecast and plan.
Yep, that's the name of the game.
Now, how do you personally, relax and say, okay, now is my turn to celebrate Christmas?
Usually after December 25th, I can just sit back and...
You can sip an eggnog then.
Yeah. Once the day comes where I can be with my family, that's the best time to do it because we all know we've been through a lot, and I know what it takes to get to that point of the year. And, my goal is for the previously to Christmas is just make sure I provide a good experience for the customers that come to celebrate the holiday and pick a tree from us. So I don't know if relaxing is,
relief.
Yeah. Maybe
you did it?
Just briefly,
yeah. And then you have to worry about the next 12 months. So it's short-lived.
And are you guys open on Christmas Day? Or?
No. I mean, depending on how much product we have left, we usually finish right around that time of the year. But it depends on what we have available. And if we don't have any trees, we go home. But most times we have enough for who needs them.
The Christmas Eve.
For the last minute people like me.
Maybe. We'll see.
Now, obviously, I mean, there's a lot that, you're proud of with the business, being in a family business since when you started in 1950, correct?
Right, yeah.
Are there any standouts for you? Is there any couple accomplishments that you look back and go, you know what, that was amazing that we got that done?
There's a lot. Mm-hmm. I think it's short victories, small victories. It's not usually the big stuff that people would assume. Mm-hmm. It would just be stuff that happens behind the scenes that my family and I have to go through to move forward with the business. And it's not necessarily the product end. It's more of like working together and making sure, my mom, my dad, my sister, we all come together to get through it together. And that's a good thing for us.
Yeah. And that's got to be a different dynamic, being involved in a family business. You don't leave your partners and go home. You kind of go with your partners back home.
Yeah.
Together.
And it's got its pros and cons like anything else, but it's an interesting dynamic to have. And if family businesses, they all go through the same thing. They all have the same problems. Because I know a lot of people that have family businesses, and it's always topic of conversation throughout dinner and when you're on vacation. And not that you can't get away from it, but it's always present. And that's a cool thing because that's a good bonding experience with your family.
Gotcha.
In its unique way, and I embrace it.
Well, it brings you closer together. And I guess, you know what? If you're in the holiday business and Christmas brings people closer together, why not? It just makes a lot of sense.
To answer maybe a second part of that question,
sure.
With the accomplishments, it's just nice to have a loyal customer base. That's the most important thing to us as a company. We can strive to make their season a little bit easier and provide good trees, good wreaths, good service overall, and that's important to us.
Now, what's the one thing that you want to ensure that our listeners walk away with? You know, they know it's Christmas. They know JG Brand's Christmas tree sales in Belrose. But what can they expect when they walk through the door or they contact you, whether it's business to business or business to consumer?
When they come to see us, we want to make sure that they're going to be a customer for life. That's the goal. I don't want to have a customer come in for a year and then you don't see him ever again, because that's not what we're here for. And we can't survive on just having people come in once a year and you never see them again. And for wholesale and retail, like, you want to make sure that you have all your bases covered.
Yeah, it's the gift that keeps giving.
Yeah.
You want them to keep coming back.
And we do everything possible to make sure that we're in their minds throughout the year, whether it's promotional material, gifts that we give out to our customers, for buying a tree. You have to do a little extra to keep your brand in their eyes.
Yeah, always be top of mind, I think. Yeah, I agree with you. That makes a lot of sense. Now, if there was one thing that you wanted to leave our listeners with, what would that be?
For any business owners, it's always a good thing to put yourself out there and get out of your comfort zone. Challenge yourself.
Yeah.
Maybe take on a project or two that you might not feel confident doing, but give it a shot. Even if it's just having a conversation with people and learning what they want and seeing if you can add something to the equation, and never doubt yourself. I think a lot of business owners, after a while, they get a little discouraged if things don't work their way. And I look at it like a baseball batting average. You have to, 10 times, if you get 2 or 3 hits, that's not bad. So don't think like you have to knock everything out of the ballpark, to use a baseball term. But
yeah,
it's all about averages. And if you can keep yourself level-headed and not get too high, not get too low, I think you'll be okay.
You're in a good spot.
Yes.
And what's your website, your information, or where people can find you?
You can find us at jgbrands.com, and we're on Facebook and Instagram at jgbrands, so you can find us easily. Also on Google, we pop right up there, so just type in JG Brands Christmas Tree Sales, and you can find all the information about our products and services.
Yeah, and don't be like me. Don't wait till the last minute. You can start looking now. Some great pictures, great things going on social media, so keep up the good work, my friend.
Thank you, Ray.
Yes, you got it.
Here's a little DB's philosophy. Christmas is a season for kindling the fire for hospitality in the hall, the genial flame of charity in the heart. Washington Irving.
We want to thank you for being with us today. My name is Ray Schwetz, along with Donyshia Boston-Hill, your co-host and producers. This is an NCC Foundation Business Leaders Council production. Visit nccradio.org for more information. Available on iHeartRadio, Android Podcasts, and Spreaker. This has been Tower Talk Business Radio, powered by the Nassau Community College Foundation on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. We'll talk with you next week.